Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to open up some surprise containers. Are these crates worth it? Now, Wargaming bring a lot of crates in the game. A lot of crates. Most of them are useless and you should stay away. However, something like the lucky crates can be considered quite good. But before we look at these crates, what else is in store? Now, the TOG 2 is in store for 2,500 gold. Now, with that price, you do get a couple of camo crates, which I think are useless. You get a camo there, and also you get 14 days of premium. For 2.5k gold, the TOG 2 is a must-have tank. You should have a TOG 2. Everybody should have a TOG. Next in the store is the Lorraine 40T. Now, this is only for sale for 5.5k gold. For a tier 8 tank, no matter how bad or how good the tank is, 5.5k gold for a tier 8 tank is a solid price. Very, very good price indeed. Now, the Lorraine is a good tank, but it is a very difficult tank to play. It's not an easy tank. It's a 4-shot autoloader, doesn't have any armor whatsoever, so you do have to bear that in mind. And as we said, the lucky containers here, these are good, all depending on what tanks you already have. Now, you do have a tier 5 lucky container, and if you get the tank, you're guaranteed a tank, which is why these tanks are these crates are good. Now, if you got a tier 5, you get the tier 6 lucky container. If you got the tier 6, you get tier 7, and so on and so on. So they are actually good crates. Next up, we've got the Lanson C, the Moose, 12.5k gold. You can also get this tank for 10k gold without the camo, etc. I still think that is a little bit costly. I mean, 10k gold is not the end of the world. I just think a couple of thousand gold less, then maybe it will be worth it. Now, one of the deals of the century, we've spoke about this tank an awful lot on the channel. It is the Panzer B2. Now, this tank has the preferential matchmaking, so if you play this tank solo without a platoon, you will always be top tier. You will never ever see tier 5. Now, people, my last video on this tank, people were like, you lied to me, I see tier 5. Yes, you're going to see tier 5. If you're in a platoon with someone else driving a normal tank, you will see tier 5 tanks. If you're in a platoon with someone else driving the Panzer B2 or the Valentine, you will be top tier. Honestly, it's when people turn around and say, Meadzy, you're lying. No, I'm not. You're just doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. This tank has preferential matchmaking, and if you just say, just play it solo, just play it solo, you will always be top tier. You will never ever see tier 5. Next on the list, we've got the AMX M449, which is a good tank, and the Shark, both tanks for 15,000 gold. Now, that is actually a good deal. Also, this one, I mean, it's only 8,000 gold for the IS-2SH and the IS-2. Again, both tanks are average, like not very good, but for 8,000 gold, you can't really go wrong with a tier 7 and a tier 8 tank. You've got the Keeler there, and you've obviously got these surprise containers. Also in the store today is the Super Hellcat for 6,000 gold. Is a very, very good buy. It's a very good tank. It's a fun tank to play, and definitely is worth buying if you have the spare gold. But in today, mainly, we are going to look at these surprise containers. Now, for 25,000 gold, you can get 20, I think it's 20 containers. There are other bundles in the store as well where you could buy less containers for a bit less. Are these containers worth it? Now, I honestly think these surprise containers, the way Wargaming words these names, these surprise containers, it's not really a surprise, to be honest. In fact, it is a surprise. It's a surprise how shockingly, I was going to say shite then, how shite these containers are. So what they actually do in these containers, I mean, people hate containers anyway, but with these surprise containers, you've got to buy the containers, and then in that container you get other containers. It's a bit stupid. So you buy a container to get another container to get a tank. It's stupid. It really is stupid. And obviously when you open up the surprise containers, you are guaranteed a container of some sort. Doesn't matter what tank. It's a 5% drop rate for each tank, each tank container. And then when you open up that tank container, you then have like a 3 to 5% chance of getting that tank. So you have to open up a container to see if you have actually got a tank. It's stupid. The way Wargaming have done it is absolutely stupid. So we are opening up these containers here. As you can see, we're always getting a crate. We've got an Object 907 crate there, the Object 268. Of course, when I talk about are these containers worth it, now I'd always mostly 90% of the time say stay away from crates, guys. They're not worth it. And on this occasion, I am going to say the same thing. Stay away from these crates. They are really not worth buying. They're not worth wasting your money on, and they're not worth it's just stupid. These containers, in my opinion, are just stupid. Now, of course, people are going to come back at me and say, hey, I spent 8k gold on these containers and I got 2 tanks. Yeah, you're lucky. You got lucky. That's same as this. I've just spent 25k gold on these containers. Now, if I get, say, a tier 10 and a tier 8, then of course that is worth it. But that's just luck. It's all about luck. Now, I am going to open up these crates. Bear in mind, I've spent 25,000 gold. We are getting a lot of premium time in these containers. What we're not getting is tanks. We do get a little bit of tanks there, and we do get a little bit of gold in return. 500 gold, 500 gold. We're getting free XP, and of course we're getting boosters, etc. Like things like that. But you don't open crates for free XP. You don't open crates for boosters. You open crates for tanks. You don't open tanks for premium time. You don't buy these crates, sorry, for these. You buy the crates to try and get the tank. Now, of course, we do get unlucky with these crates, and we only win one tank out of the lot. So overall, is the 25,000 gold worth it? Yes, we get some gold back, and yes, we get a lot of premium time. Who cares about premium time in this day and age? Now, we are about to get a tank here, which is the Action X. So with for 25,000 gold, basically all we get is the Action X, which, yes, is one of the best tier 8 tanks, but is it really worth 25,000 gold? Of course, we do get some gold in return, but overall, stay away from the crates, guys. They're not worth it. Most crates out there are not worth it. In fact, the only crates I would honestly recommend is the lucky container crates, the lucky crates, because you are guaranteed a tank. No matter what tank it is, if you buy a tier 5 lucky container, you are guaranteed a tier 5 tank. If you buy a tier 6 lucky container, you are guaranteed a tier 6, and so on up until tier 8. And again, if you've already got the tank you win, say you buy a tier 8 lucky container and you've got the tier 8, you will then get a tier 9 lucky container. And again, if you've got the tier 9 tank that you win, you will get a tier 10 lucky container, which then you are guaranteed to get that tank. So with all the crates, the lucky containers, the lucky crates are pretty much the only containers, crates, whatever you want to call them, that I personally would recommend. But again, if you've got no tier 5s, then you're not going to get the tier 6 and tier 7, tier 8 like crates, because you're going to get the tank. So it is what it is. Crates have always been around. It's been the biggest subject for the last 5 years with What Blitz. But these containers, especially surprise containers. What surprise? There is no surprise. Surprise! You've just wasted your freaking money. So do not get these. There is no surprise, guys. Honestly, unless you get very, very lucky, which is what all the containers are about mostly, except for the surprise. Except for the lucky containers. It should be swapped, the lucky container. No, you're not lucky because you're guaranteed a tank. The lucky containers should actually be called surprise containers, because you are getting a surprise. What surprise? What tank are you going to get? who knows, but you're definitely going to get a tank. However, the surprise containers is all about luck. So in my opinion, they should rename them. So these surprise containers should be named lucky, and the lucky containers should be named surprise, because at the minute with these surprise containers, they're just ripping you off. They really are just ripping you off, and it makes you think like, oh my god, look at all these crates I can get. Yeah, but you're guaranteed a crate, but you're not guaranteed the tank. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you did, hit that subscribe button. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all very, very soon. Bye bye for now.